So let's revisit the Nakuda of yesterday. So the Shaila in Ois Vav is, how is it possible that Adam is Yeshiv Etzli and the Avodah of a Yid, as he explained, what does it reach? Mala Kalalmin, even Seviv Kalalmin is Mamshich Toisvis Oir in Shem Havaya. Rechni Choyach LaHashem, we're Perlin LaHavaya. That's as far as Avodas HaTachten reaches in reconciling the Mamar Chazal and the Psukim. And here we're saying that Adam is Yeshiv Etzli, hide in Ishtalshalus. So the answer is that Yidden, their Shoresh is the Kav, Kichele Kavaya Amay. Yidden, their Shoresh is Gilui, is revelation of godliness. And revelation of godliness is affected by the Tzimtzum. It's the Kav is Nimshach in and produces Seidish Talshalus as a result of the Tzimtzum. Mashenkin Umasa'ila, their Shoresh is higher. Their Shoresh, as it were, is in the Rishimu. Now let's revisit the Rishimu. The Rishimu, which means the trace or the impression that is left after the Ein Sof is removed. So he says the Vort that the Tzimtzum doesn't affect the Rishimu. The Tzimtzum affects the Kav, but not the Rishimu. It's a paradox. The Rishimu, there's no Giloi, and the Kav is Giloi. The Kav is affected by the Tzimtzum, and the Rishimu is not affected by the Tzimtzum. So this is what needs to be understood. What does this mean? So B'chlal Nechsidut is broad, that the Rishimu is, we said it basically yesterday, I'm just going to add a little detail and repeat it, review it. The Rishimu is the Makar of Oisius, Hashem's words by which he creates. Now, all of these words and languages, it all revolves around this three inyonim, everything. Chayshtalshalus is a bligivul gvul, and helem, in endless, or virtually endless forms. That's it's a binary system. It's the interplay of gvul and bligivul. The whole existence is yes or no. Everything, your whole computer at every moment just as a choice, yes or no. Mitzias, therefore, they're mitzvahs, asay, mitzvahs leisas. Affirm, negate. Yes, no. That's all rooted in bligvul and gvul. The third inyan, quote unquote, not inyan, of course, the Eibush himself, that's higher than gvul and bligvul. So Oisius is just another expression of gvul. That's what Oisius are, of course, you're containing an idea and putting it into Oisius. So both Chassidus and Kabbalah, that the Oisius are rooted in the Rishimus, all this is saying is, again, a university student or our Panyevich Talmud, what are you talking about? It just explain this and learn to understand what you're saying. And he's much smarter than us. He just wants to understand what we're talking about. Our Panyevich Talmud, or McGill student. Maybe smarter than me, maybe not smarter than you, but smarter than me. And he wants to understand, what are you talking about? So what this is saying is, in Pashto language, that since the Eibishter desired for the Dir B'Tachtonim, the whole purpose of the Gilui is there should be Helem. There can't be Helem without Gilui. So in Seder Hoin Yonim, Gilui comes first. Bligvul is before Gvul. And that's deliberate by divine design, because he wants to create an upper and a lower. So it starts with first what's the first revelation of God is upper, bligvul. But that is not the kavanah. The kavanah is helem, gvul, dir b'tachtonim. He wants a dwelling place in this finite world. That is the kavanah pnimius. And it's latent. It's latent there in the Eira Bligvul, unexpressed, potentially latent, is the Koyach HaGvul, which is really the Kavanah Pnimius, to emerge only later. And it keeps on emerging later in all of these stages, the tzimtzum, the rishima, the kelim, it always comes after. It always comes after, but it's the kavanah pnimis. And that's what he means, that the rishima, which is that, the rishima is the emergence of the koach hagvul. It's essentially what it means. Therefore, it's the mocker of Oisius. Lei noga by tzimtzum. What does it mean? Lei noga by tzimtzum means the oil that the kav is affected by the tzimtzum, because the kav creates this line of further distance, etc. The kav creates that gvul is lower. The kav creates the reality from our perspective that gvul is less, and the more gvul, it's further in distance, and all the way down, that's the language you use, down, far, distance, rochik, korev, all the way down to dirib b'tachtonim. In the rishim volei noga b'yatzimtz. That means, in simple language, that there the koach hagvul is not chsaron. It doesn't create distance. If we would experience the rishim, it's saying, that's what God is articulating, whispering, as it were. My kavanah is tacht and gvul. That's where I'm going to be revealed. That's what leinoga b'yatzimtzum means. Is that clear? Should I say it again? Can you explain it to the McGill student? To think about it first yourself. You can explain it to the Panyavichi and Geman too. You can use Hebrew terms as long as you understand. No background. What are you talking about? That's wegen the Eibishter. Ask, like, what are you saying? And once you've explained it to the McGill student and the Panyavichi Eloi, then you can explain it to your Nefesh Abamis too, which means, the self. So maybe we'll get it too. But first, you have to explain to Seichel and Lushi. He's our Seichel and Lushi on the table here. Seichel should understand. Nefesh Maskelis and Nefesh Abamis then can be affected. Like yesterday's story, with the Zalman Moishe. Just to remember the story correctly, Chaim, the Rebbe wrote, I mentioned the Matzeva, therefore they put it on the Matzeva. The Rebbe just wrote in the Nichem Avelim letter to his Mishpocha, Zatzal. No chassid, I don't think he forgot that.
Could be.
Times. Huh?
I don't know the details, but
that was the Nichem Avelim.
Definitely the Rebbe added the tzaddik.
So I'm telling you, it's a Nichem Avelim letter.
Could be.
And as a consequence, they put that, I think, on the Matzeva, but a call upon him. So the story with him was, that he was the most raw, real person, that absolutely zero tolerance, abhorrence for pretense and posturing and bluff. There's so many, stories about that. First and foremost, his demand on himself. I mean, he was brutal. He was brutally honest. And his language was brutal. Especially after Mashke, it was gefährlich. There's a famous story of a Mestagdish Bacha that came at sold in Russia. I think it was still in Russia. And I think spent Shabbos by him. So they ended up by him. And then there came the Fabrengi every Shabbos, and he used to speak. He talked to his Nefesh Abamis with the Russian language. And people were very scared. They turned this Bacher off terribly after he was witness to this Fabrengen. And if I'm not details, I remember then the kud of the story was that, and completely not, because he was in his house and saw he ate the way davened his whole anaga. He was sure that this was a Kabbalah language or something that was beyond him. He didn't even hear it as in the vulgar language that it was, relatively vulgar. He didn't use. I don't know what language he used, but it was strong. So it was extremely. It wasn't merachikim, because one Shabbos is enough to see. Spending a Shabbos in his house to see. And the biggest praise, it's not a time now to go, it's story time to tell this, but the biggest praise on Zalman Moishe is, I think the Fidiger Rebbe said, or maybe the Rebbe Rashab, Zalman Moishe avort chazim ben Iber and Beis Harav. You hear? Avot of Moishe is repeated by in Beis Harav. There's no greater praise than that. Here's Kuli Emes. The story yesterday was this, Gedaven, getracht, but so you need to verbring with this. I think I said the wrong word. Not that Motel said in Mulvade. He was saying, and the kid was repeating after him, Motel Dubinsky. Zog Motel, he had to hear it from the kid. But I can't put myself in his world because we're not in his world. But the whole point was, was it 20 minutes verbring? Bashkel and Chaim and everything. The Emes. It's after all the HaSkolah. Scholar was before davening. Understand it. During davening was that it should bring it into Pnimius. The Fabenga was hammering it home. The scholar is before davening. Before davening is the Seichel. Davening is the same Indian, the Lekus of the Indian. The Fabenga was.
Benegaya to the Rishima, so Benegaya to the Rishima and to the Kav, you were trying to bring it to an example.
So we're saying that the Rishima is the level where the Kavana of Gvul is not, that this is the Tachlis, is not disguised. And they're in a latent way. But in the world of the Rishima itself, what's expressed there is the Inyan of Oisius, the Inyan of Gvul, I want to do the B'tachtoinim. Now that's big news. I say that it's latent because if it would be revealed there, it would kind of destroy the whole Inyan. The whole Inyan of the Ein Sof and Atzilis is the Maila. So it's like a whisper, the Helam Tachlis, it's a super conscious. Yeah, you know why you're here, this whole Gilui? Because I want a Tachton. And there's no Tachton without Elyon. Completely turns it upside down, but it cannot be expressed there. And then the alien will be in his battle. Okay, so there's no alien. Tachton only. There has to be an alien and there has to be an Atzilus. So therefore, the Rishima, that's also explained, it's a trace, an impression. It's the barely, it's not articulated, barely audible whisper, the whole process. That what I want is a dir b'tachtoin with a yid lamat.
Why is that expressed more in the Rishima than in the Kav?
Because the Kav is Gilui. Kav is Gilui. It's Gilui. Compromise Gilui. There's going to be higher and lower, but the whole point of the Kav is there's a higher and there's a lower. And the Rishima is pure Helim. The Rishima is pure Helim. But it's not a Helim that conceals. In that latent world of the Helem that's the Tachlis Hashlemus. It's a whisper, it's a Rishima, it's not overt, because if it would be overt, again, it would undermine the whole point of Ishtalshalis, which is to create an upper and lower, and a further and a distance, and to produce the Gewalt and the longing in the Tzama L'chanafshi.
Isn't Rishima, we say Rishima is Shloi Noga B'Atzimtzum, but it's not Etzim. Why? How can you say in Giluyim?
It's where the etzem it's where the Eibush has expressed his kavanah
more than in the Kav.
Yeah, because the kavanah is did it b'tachtoinim.
But doesn't the Kav execute it?
You need, the point is to bring Giloi in the Tachtim. So you need the Kav, you need you need Giloi. But where do we want that Giloi? In this deepest way, it's the Mata. Again, before this was the reverse. We're here to earn a place there. And here, the kavan is to bring there here.
So according to your...
Okay, Chaim, finish, what?
So according to your analogy, Rishima is more representative of Elikim, and Kav is Havaya.
Yeah. He says that explicitly.
Baruch Toshav El Elikim is not
Elikim is so tight. The Pnim is
Baruch Toshav El Elikim doesn't mean that the neshama is going to eventually get to the Rishima. The neshama is going to ascend even higher.
We're not finished. The Maim is not over yet. We're not finished. We didn't get to the Tachlis yet. Tachlis. We've just, or how we achieve that end. We're just explaining now this profound paradox that the Rishima is higher, the Pnimius than the Kav. That's what we're saying now. Huh?
The Rishima expresses the Kavanah because it's the Shorish of the Kalim. The Kalim are creating
And
Tach.
therefore, and the Kalim all come from the Rishima, Oisius all come from the Rishima. So carried latently till like Yid comes along with Avodah, which is going to be B'chol Ma'itcha coming in a moment. It's till then it's all Helen v'Hester, and then a Yid Travada, and it's not the Maimon will tell us, and the Yid Travada is Megala. The Kavanah is the Tach, the Keli.
So the Yid Travada, you can Megala that, but he's also Megala the earth that's in the Keli, no? So like it almost seems like
It's the
doesn't he needs a Tach to do it, but what's he?
it's not so much. Okay. Rephrase it a little bit. It's not so Megala the it's that the Keli should illuminate. It's the fusion that in the Tachten Shin Tach Lamata Imeno is the greatest Gilui, and the Kav is integral to that. It's the Yichud of Havai Nelikim. Havai Yehu Elikim is the Yichud. Yeah, it's just like Maisa and Kav.
One or the other. You cannot.
It's one Kavanah. It's the Gilui Lamata. That's why Kavanah and Maisa. Kavanah and Maisa. This is okay, huge and very profound and nuanced. I won't use the word subject, but Havana. The Tachlis at the end is Gilui. But the Gilui in the Helen. Tachlis is Timchet Timimi bin Elam Hazeh. But the Kavan is Timchet Timimi. Kavan is Neshamas Yisrael only, and the Kavan is Elikus. But where in Tacht?
Why? So the Tacht in itself from...
Because Nisafach, Baruch Halis, they did it, but Tachtayni. Why?
No, I'm saying, in between that, why Helen? Is that the Helen itself should shine the
That's the
Kavanah.
Tachlis. In the Helim, the Kavanah should be revealed. The Kavanah is to be revealed in the Helim, is more precisely put. Let's see in the words of the Maimon. Did we finish the ois we did? But there are chutzpah. It's interesting. Till avodah, till what he's saying again to our McGill student and our Ponyevich in German, the Eloi of Ponyevich. Love to meet him. I'm sure there's many vying for the position. So that was said in jest, but it's true. Rabbi has a great story with not from Ponyevich, one of the Elohim of. We told it to you way back. Kaponim, b'derech chutzpah b'lvad. What's pshat b'derech chutzpah? The elevation, the preeminence that the son of Adam enjoys is b'derech chutzpah. Yoshev etzli. Interesting way of putting it. What do you think he means by b'derech chutzpah? Not like Eden, that their aliyah, whatever they reach, is to avodah, which is bittul. But this is the opposite of b'derech chutzpah. As we said yesterday, b'derech chutzpah means you only hear that you yourself, in the matzah that you are, and you yourself, you're not the kavanah, you're not mechutin. Only because the Eibush Atzmos, the Eibush decided he wants to do it b'tachtonim, and therefore it's going to be in you, and you're part of it, but not per se. So being there and strutting around as if he's some kind of mitzias is he calls it chutzpah, because it's really an affront to the real kavanah. You're being tolerated and moreover created, because in you is going to be the tachlis habitul, which means the tachlis hagilui. Until that time, you're being tolerated, and your presence is b'derech chutzpah, which means you have no place there. till you no place to ultimately. Yeshiv Etzli, because of who you are, because of my kavan of dir b'tachtonim. That's why Yeshiv Etzli. So sit quietly.
It's simply that it's a means to an end, but it doesn't know it. It behaves as if it's the end. And
That's right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, more of the last two lines there. The Gemara thing that's going to emerge in this Maimah here, that this level of Li'is Etzli, this the beginning Shabanema before, it's stuck at the level of Ligvul, Mamish, where God is unaffected. It's all for your birur. That's a statement to Chazal. There's no lack there. And therefore, let's be clear, it's this is, there comes the big Kiddush of Tfilas Osher. But Tfilas Osher is not the Pasha Dinyan of Tfilah. The Pasha Dinyan of Tfilah is lack and Tfilah, Tfilas Oni. It's Moishe Rabbeinu's Tfilah. This is the Tfilah of the Nasi Hadoir. That is Megala and reveals and inspires in all of us, as he goes on to explain in the Maimon. As I said, this is really the whole Nakuda of the Maimon of Yatitzav. So let's continue. So you're clear about Ichus and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Since God doesn't care, therefore Adam sits there too. You follow? If Adam has a place, Esav has a place.
So why don't we have a place there? If they have a place, why don't we have a place?
You
there?
do equally, but not superior. Equally, but equally, but that's so that's not avoid. Okay, answer your question is the Eibishter wants us to be at a place only through avoid. Now we're going to see where avoid does get us. Taka gets us there, and is mevatel Edom, mevatel Esav. We get it through avoid. We have a choice. That's also, this is also the Nakud of the Maimer of Chaim, as you just learned it, of Yud Aleph ניסן, of V'yem Ashtei Yoser, the Pikeach. He doesn't want the chutzpah to be the chutzpah matzav of the Sar of Edom, and he wants only through avodah.
But look at the lashon of the Maamer. Look what he's going. Look at the lashon of the Maamer as you're going to go on right now. It has nothing to do with a yid. Got to do altire abdi Yaakov. I feel Yoshev Etzli. Look at the Maamer. The way the Maamer goes on. It has nothing to do with bad avodah. It's the Eibishter says. Don't worry.
Now, listen. He's saying till now, our avodah does not nothing to do. Our avodah cannot reach this level where all is b'shav and equal. The answer is going to be that stam avodah. But tfilas osher, yes. In answer to your question, so why can't we be there like Edom? The Emir says you could choose temporarily to be there like Edom. But Abish says you're an uninvited guest. You're there because he wants you to be there through avodah. That's going to be the tfilas osher.
In other words, being there is a free lunch.
Yeah. Right, it's being like Edom, it's gorging on the fat, chewing the fat like Edom, and it's not the kavana. And adrabah, it's tolerable for Ummah HaOlah, but not for the year. Don't you come here like this.
Like the dogs eat from the bones under the table.
Yeah, for the dogs, it's okay, but not for you. You could, but I want a relationship with you. I want you to want me, Pashat. Okay, let's go further in the Maimed. So on this level of my ichba, so Yaakov is looking at all of this. He's looking at the side of Edom. And he's seeing that the side of Edom is HaOlah till Yoshev Etzli, hide and say the Ishtalshalos. His mocker is the Reshimbo, which is hide in the Kav, in Eden, it's hide in Shem Havaya. And he's terribly frightened, Gewalt. So how we overcome this? So HaKadosh Baruch Hu al tira avdi Yaakov. No, when you sing this song, the Motzei Shabbos, you sing the song Motzei Shabbos, you love Malka.
You just listen to from album first.
That's also good. The Yiddish one, which one?
Yeah.
It's a beautiful song. Okay, so now you'll have the deeper appreciation. What?
Context.
And one more than context, and very deep appreciation of what's he afraid of exactly. Pasha, we're afraid to go out in the world there, and but what's the root of this fear? Is Yeshiv Edom, is Yeshiv Etzli. Even if he ascends and sits by me, Edom, which he is, from there I will bring him down. There'll be a dik in this. If you will rise up like an eagle, again, that's the emblem of Rome. From there I'll bring you down. This ascent, the fact that he ascends to this lofty level, that's where his downfall will come. As we'll explain, in this level of my ichbas leila kadosh baruch Hu, where Esav and Yaakov are brothers and equal. The big chiddush is there, mishom eritcha. As you explain, shemishom dafke ha'bitlo va'avoden shelehem. It's this level of this transcendent level where all is equal. It's from there that comes the bitl. Okay, well, the Hineksiv a little bit further. Och Esav the Yaakov, is not Esav a brother to Yaakov? So that means that there's a level where they're equally insignificant, and that's the level of Ma'ich Besplay. That's the level of the Oilifne Atzimtzon. The Rishimba carries that because like Noga Boy Atzimtzon. That's the Shoydish of HaOlah. And there everything is equal. Still, the pasuk concludes, "V'oyev is Yaakov." Hainu, he comes to big chiddush, and we'll address it tomorrow. Sheba darge sheba nemar, in this very darge of which we said before, ma'ich b'sila kadosh baruch. What does God care? And we, in reconciling that with the other psukim that bring out that nois lelikim and suyilat chateshi, we said that's lower darges. That's seva kalam, it's a mala kalam. Shemavaya, Shemalikim, the low level Shemalikim. Now he's saying, no, that in this very darg of Ma'ich Beslei, Shalachain, Och Esav Yaakov, they're brothers and equal, Esav and Yaakov, in other words, all equally insignificant. Yad Kedekach Sheichol Yitzhak Bos, Esav Lamakim, because they're so insignificant. Interesting kvetch here, that Esav could lift himself to a place Shavveda the Yaakov Einim Agas that Stam Aveda doesn't reach. That's so insignificant. Esav must have a place here too. And Yaakov, that's earning his place, can't get here. Yaakov, at every level, is dogged and worked at and earned in Bepnimius. Can't get to where Esav gets free ride because Yaakov doesn't want to go there. A person could choose to eat under the scraps under the table in the marsh of the Maimon, or the excess. But a Yid doesn't want to go there. He wants to carry the kavan el yid, the Torah mitzvahs. So who's there? Esav, not the Yid. Again, he could be, but he doesn't want to be there. And he could be too by his choice if he behaves like Esav. But that's very painful. Esav, they able to tolerate because you're a means to an end. The Yid being there, you're the kavanah, not a means for an end, and not like this, but an earned relationship. So so there from this darge here, good for tomorrow. We'll explain. Yaakov dafke. The rejection of the bitl of Esav, Sheyakav. Okay, so we'll revisit this tomorrow.